Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, we've got quite a collection of sources for you today. Really interesting stuff. We're looking at everything from, major economic development, new green tech, all the way to national appointments and even sports highlights. Our goal, like always, is to kind of sift through all this, pull out the really key insights, and give you that shortcut to, well, being really clued in on what's happening in India right now.
Exactly. And I think what you'll find interesting is just how diverse this information is. It's
Okay.
not just one thing, right? It gives you a real snapshot of India's growth, the different initiatives, the challenges too. So our job here is to connect those dots, give you the context so you don't just hear the facts, but actually get why they're important.
That's the key, the why. Okay, let's dive right in then. First up, boosting infrastructure and green manufacturing, foundational stuff. We're starting with Prime Minister Modi's recent visit to Gujarat. And this is where it gets really interesting. The scale. We're talking about projects worth, get this, 5,400 crores, all announced or kicked off between August 25th and 26th, 2025. It's a staggering amount.
It really is. And you've got to think beyond just the concrete and steel. These infrastructure projects, they're the bedrock for economic growth. They create these ripple effects.
Right.
Take the railway projects, for example. Over 1,400 crore just for railways. That includes doubling the Masana-Palampur line at 65 kilometers, costing over 530 crores itself.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's not just laying more track, right? It's about
Yeah.
opening up trade corridors, potentially slashing transit times for goods. That means lower costs for businesses, better access to markets for local producers. I mean, that's a tangible economic boost.
And it wasn't just that line. He also flagged off a new passenger train, for local commutes, and even a dedicated freight train for cars. So it's all about boosting connectivity, strengthening logistics nationally, and importantly, creating jobs. Plus, there's another 1,000 crores for power distributional projects. Ahmedabad, Mehsana, Gandhinagar, under UGVCL, you need reliable power for everything else.
Absolute. Reliable power is, well, it's fundamental. And interestingly, right alongside the sort of traditional infrastructure push,
Yeah.
there's this huge move into modern green manufacturing. A really big highlight was the launch of the VITARA. That's Maruti Suzuki's first global battery electric vehicle, a BEV, made right there in Hansalpur.
First global one made in India.
Yeah, and what's really striking is its reach. They're planning to export this car to over 100 countries. We're talking advanced markets, too, like Europe and Japan.
Yeah.
That sends a pretty powerful message about India's manufacturing chops, doesn't it?
It really does. A huge statement for Made in India. And it seems like there's serious money behind it, too. Suzuki Motor Corporation isn't just launching a car. They're talking about investing, what was it, $8 billion? That's around 70,000 crore over the next 5-6 years.
Exactly, a massive commitment. And it's not just assembly, which is key. It's about deep localization. The PM also inaugurated localized production of hybrid battery electrodes. This is at the TDS lithium-ion battery plant. That's a Toshiba Denso Suzuki joint venture, also in Hansalpur. The aim: to get about 80% of the battery's value manufactured in India. That's critical for building a robust EV ecosystem. Self-reliant.
Right, building that whole supply chain here. And we're seeing similar moves elsewhere, too, like Ashok Leyland partnering with CLB Group. They're a Chinese battery tech company. They're planning to put in over 5,000 crore over the next, say, 7 to 10 years, specifically for battery localization in India.
So another major player making a big bet.
Exactly. And it's not just for their own EVs, like under the Switch brand. They're aiming to supply others, too, in automotive and even energy storage. So what does this all mean? It looks like a really strong, concerted push towards indigenous manufacturing, especially in green energy, EVs, and it's clearly attracting significant foreign investment to back it up.
Okay, so we have this picture of booming infrastructure, green manufacturing taking off. The next logical question, I think, is how is all this growth being managed, guided? Let's look at governance, key appointments, and maybe fostering that next generation of innovators.
Good point. Let's shift gears. Starting at the top, the Supreme Court. Justices Alok Aradhe and Phul Manohai Pancholi were sworn in. CJI B.R. Gavai administered the oath. And the big news there is, with these appointments, the Supreme Court is now operating at its full sanctioned strength. That's 34 judges, including the Chief Justice. That feels significant, doesn't it, having the top court fully staffed?
Oh, absolutely essential. I mean, operating at full strength helps tackle case backlogs, allows for more specialized benches. It just bolsters public confidence in the whole process. These kinds of appointments are really fundamental for stability, efficiency, not just in the courts, but across other key areas too. We also saw Akash Tripathi appointed as MD of the Solar Energy Corporation of India, SECI. That's crucial for guiding renewable energy strategy. and TCA Kalyani became the new Controller General of Accounts. That's about ensuring solid financial oversight.
Right, important roles filled. And sticking with finance, there's a big update on the public sector banks, the PSBs. Goldman Sachs have been brought in as the sole advisor for selling off a phased 5% stake in four banks: Indian Overseas Bank, Central Bank of India, UCO Bank, and Punjab and Sind Bank.
Hmm. Okay. So a stake divestment, what are the implications there? Well, typically, this kind of move can bring in private capital, which might, boost operational efficiency, maybe improve governance in those banks. It also signals the government's strategy, perhaps streamlining its holdings, freeing up some capital, maybe for other development goals, while still keeping a majority stake, mind you.
Got it. Okay, now shifting from established institutions to fostering future talent, HCL Tech launched this really interesting challenge called Arise for You. It stands for aspire.rise.inspire.skill.excel. It's an innovation and entrepreneurship challenge aimed at students.
Ah, okay. Targeting the youth. Who are they partnering with?
They've teamed up with Pearson India and also the Meity startup hub MSH, that's under the IT ministry. And the scale is pretty ambitious. They're expecting over 150,000 students to participate from more than 3,000 campuses.
Wow, 150,000 students. That's a serious effort to cultivate that entrepreneurial spark, isn't it? And the incentives look solid, too. Grants up to 10 lakhs for winners, incubation support, national media coverage. The finale is set for March 2026. This isn't just a contest. It feels like they're actively trying to build that talent pipeline for India's future innovation economy.
Definitely seems that way. And just as a quick counterpoint on the importance of governance, MTNL actually got fined over 6.7 lakh each by both the NSE and BSE. This was for not complying with SEBI's rules on board composition. So it's a reminder that standards apply even to public sector giants.
Right. Rules are rules. Okay, so we've covered growth, governance. But for long-term success, sustainability is absolutely key. Let's transition now to energy efficiency. How are India's states actually doing on that front? This impacts everyone, really.
It does, and we have a good way to measure it. The State Energy Efficiency Index 2024, CEI 2024. This index was just released by the Ministry of Power, prepared by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency, BEE, and the Alliance for an Energy Efficient Economy, AEE. It looks at all 36 states and UTs, reviewing their performance for the financial year 2023-24.
And how does it categorize them? Is it just a single ranking?
No, it's quite structured. They group states into 4 tiers based on their score, which reflects their total final energy consumption, or TFC. You've got frontrunners scoring above 60%, achievers at 50-60%, contenders from 30-50%, and aspirants below 30%. What's interesting is they also highlight top performers within different consumption groups. So Maharashtra led Group 1, Andhra Pradesh Group 2, Assam Group 3, and Tripura Group 4.
And did the top category, the frontrunners, change much?
Slightly. The number of frontrunner states actually went down a bit, from 7 to 5 this year. The ones still leading the pack are Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu. They're consistently showing strong performance and sustainable practices. Okay, so what kinds of things are they actually measuring? Where are states making progress?
It's pretty granular. Take buildings, for instance. 24 states have adopted the latest Energy Conservation Building Code, ECBC 2017, and 20 have even linked it to municipal bylaws, which is crucial for enforcement. In industry, 10 states are actively supporting energy efficiency in small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, and 7 now require energy audits even for industries outside the main PT scheme. Municipalities are stepping up too. 25 have climate or heat action plans. Transport. Big focus on EVs. 31 states have EV policies, 14 mandate charging points in new buildings.
Even agriculture.
Yes, even agriculture. 13 states are promoting things like efficient cold storage or solar water pumps. Kerala is actually a standout here, with over 70% adoption of efficient or solar pumps. And if you connect all these dots, these state-level actions are directly feeding into India's bigger climate commitments. Cutting emission intensity by 45% by 2030, aiming for net zero by 2070.
That's a really helpful breakdown. And just to give a concrete example of cities collaborating on this, we saw Delhi and Oslo launch DUSTI, the Delhi-Oslo Sustainable Transport Initiative. This was unveiled at the India Clean Transportation Summit. The idea is basically knowledge sharing, joint projects to speed up clean, inclusive e-mobility in cities.
That kind of international collaboration is smart. Okay, so from sustainability efforts within India, let's broaden the lens again. Let's look at India on the global stage: sports, defense cooperation, digital initiatives.
Right. And let's kick off with something really uplifting in sports. The first ever Khelo India Water Sports Festival 2025, held at the iconic Dal Lake in Srinagar, J&K. This was a big deal. Over 500 athletes came from 28 different states and UTs, competing in rowing, canoeing, kayaking.
Wow, first one on Dal Lake. Who came out on top?
Madhya Pradesh took the team championship. They had a great run, 10 golds, 3 silvers, 5 bronzes. But there's this wonderful story, too. Mohsin Ali, just 17 years old, a local Shikarawala from Dal Lake, he won the very first gold medal of the festival in men's kayaking.
That's fantastic. Really captures the spirit of finding talent anywhere.
Exactly. It embodies that Khelo India idea. And it's great to see this expansion, the newest addition to the Khelo India Games, and the second major event hosted in J&K recently. They even had a Himalayan kingfisher as the mascot and a shikara on Dal Lake for the logo. Nice touches.
It really shows the growing breadth of Indian sports. And these grassroots efforts run alongside achievements on the world stage. For example, Neeraj Chopra, our javelin star, kept competing at the elite level. He finished runner-up in the Diamond League final in Zurich. Solid throw, 85.01 meters. Julian Weber from Germany won that one. And back home, infrastructure keeps improving. India got its first Mondo track. It was inaugurated at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Delhi.
Mondo track, that's the high-performance surface, right?
Exactly. Top-tier athletic surface. It was installed just ahead of the World Parathletics Championships being held there. India is now the 25th country to have one. Shows commitment to hosting world-class events.
Speaking of hosting, Go is gearing up for a big one, too. The FID World Cup 2025 for chess. That's going to bring 206 top players together. It's an 8-round knockout, big prize money, $2 million.
So India is definitely becoming a major destination for international sports. Chess, athletics, it's growing.
Yeah, definitely. Now, switching from sports fields to defense cooperation, India sent a significant contingent, over 700 personnel from the armed forces, to participate in Exercise Bright Start 2025 in Egypt. This ran from late August into early September.
Bright Star. That's a big multinational exercise.
It is. This was the 19th edition. Huge participation. 43 countries involved. 13 actually sent troops, around 7,900 total, and 30 more sent observers.
And India's role.
Well, India first joined in 2023, so participating again with a large contingent this year, it sort of signals growing engagement in international defense exercises, a bigger strategic footprint, perhaps.
Interesting. And on the tech front, any digital advancements?
Yes, related to a major event, Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia launched a new mobile app for the India Mobile Congress 2025, IMC. It's AI-powered, interactive. The theme for this year's IMC, the 9th one, is Innovate to Transform. It's being held at Yashobhoomi in Dwarka. So using AI even for managing the event itself shows that embrace of tech.
A good overview of India's engagement globally. Finally, let's bring it back home and look at the bedrock, the economy. We need to check its pulse with the Annual Survey of Industries, the ASI, for the financial year 24.
Right, this is a crucial report. Comes from the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, MOSPI. It covers April 2023 to March 2024. And it looks at, the core industrial metrics, number of factories, employment, capital investment, production, gross value added, GVA.
And what did the numbers show for FY24? Healthy signs. Pretty robust, actually. Fixed capital, that's investment in plant. Machinery saw a really good jump, up to over 46 lakh crore. Employment grew too. Added over 1.5 lakh jobs just in that 1 year. And if you look longer term, over the last decade, the sector added something like 5.7 million jobs, and gross value added GVA, which is a key measure of output, it grew by nearly 12% in current prices in FY24. That growth outpaced the increase in both inputs and overall output.
That sounds like solid, efficient growth then. Which sectors and which regions are really driving this industrial engine?
The report breaks it down clearly. In terms of GVA contribution, the leaders are industries like basic metals, motor vehicles, chemicals, food products, and pharmaceuticals. Geographically, a few states consistently dominate. Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu are the powerhouses. If you look at GVA, they're the top 3. Number of factories. Tamil Nadu actually leads there, with over 15% of India's total factories, followed by Gujarat and Maharashtra. Employment, same top 3. Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra. Fixed capital investment and total output. Gujarat leads, then Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu.
So those 3 states are really carrying a lot of the weight.
They are major contributors, yes. These figures, taken together, they really paint a picture of strong growth in India's industrial sector, and they clearly highlight the key states powering that expansion.
Okay, so wrapping things up, What's the big picture from all this? We've touched on so much today, from that accelerating economic growth fueled by huge infrastructure spending and this major push into green manufacturing, to strengthening governance with key appointments and India making its mark globally in sports and defense. It's clear these aren't just random events, right? They feel interconnected, part of this larger dynamic story of India's development. Understanding how these different pieces fit together, well, hopefully that gives you a much richer perspective.
Absolutely. And maybe just a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over. Think about how that localized production of advanced tech, like the EV batteries we talked about right at the start, how does that directly connect to India meeting its big climate goals for 2030 and 2070? While at the same time boosting the kind of economic growth and job creation we saw in the annual survey of industries. What could this sort of integrated approach linking green goals with industrial strategy mean for other developing nations trying to strike that same balance? Something to think about.